Hi, my name is Matt Schmulin, and I'm a solutions engineer with Appcelerator. I'm very excited today to talk to you about our mobile application platform and our company. Founded in 2007 with over 180 employees, we're headquartered in Mountain View, California. We're focused on delivering success to our customers and developers who have created over 35,000 mobile applications on Titanium. Our 350,000 registered mobile developers are creating native iOS, Android, and mobile web applications from a unified JavaScript codebase and taking advantage of our ecosystem of partners to provide modular integrations into our native SDKs that allow further economics and richer applications. Today I'm going to go over the components and products inside the Appcelerator platform. I'll start it off and talk to you a little bit about Titanium Studio, our unified development environment. I'll discuss the Titanium Mobile SDK and how it allows developers to create a native mobile application from the unified JavaScript codebase. We'll talk about the Appcelerator Cloud Services. There is an optional component that allows developers to add push notification or cloud authentication, location, and data services to their mobile application with just a couple lines of code. And we'll also discuss our ecosystem. This is where ISV and technology integration partners provide modules for our developers and customers to create mobile applications faster with richer connections to end services or richer controls and components in native code. Of course, you know the value of Titanium in that it allows you to create these native mobile applications from a unified JavaScript codebase. Providing a unified development environment inside Titanium Studio means that a developer can focus on leveraging their existing JavaScript skills to create native mobile applications that have full device experience and performance and conform to the human interface guidelines set by Apple and Android. These native applications have full access to the native features and functionality. Additionally, our Appcelerator Cloud Services give access to mobile cloud stack so developers can create these native mobile applications that leverage authentication or cloud storage or even push notification without having to manage the back-end complexity of creating a push server for both iOS and Android or managing the scalability of mobile applications. Core Platform is extendable with native modules, and of course, open source Core SDK means you'll always have visibility into the inner workings of the technology. The Titanium Studio is a unified development environment that we leverage to create our native mobile applications. It has a rich set of features for developers, such as code management and integration into Git. It's customizable and scriptable so you can create native components, templates, and of course JavaScript injections. You can also of course debug in the native iOS and Android simulators. This means that a developer who's creating a mobile application in JavaScript can first build their mobile application in Titanium Studio, manage, develop, and debug their JavaScript code on the native simulators and emulators provided by Android and iOS, and then of course single-click deploy to an enterprise app store or bundle for distribution to iTunes or Android Market. The Titanium SDK is what allows Titanium developers to bind their JavaScript code to native controls and components. Titanium applications are indistinguishable from their native language counterparts because of our architecture in leveraging the native iOS and Android SDK to give developers access to native controls and components such as table views, tabs, split views, as well as non-visual components such as local storage or SQLite database. Additionally, developers creating native mobile application can access the full range of media and content available on the device. This means that Titanium developers create the same application that native Objective-C developers are on iOS, with the added advantage that a Titanium developer can then target, distribute to Android or mobile web from a unified codebase written in JavaScript. Titanium leverages the JavaScript language. This allows Titanium JavaScript developers to create these native controls and components. So in this example, you can see we're creating a native window. We're going to create a native label. And of course, the Titanium SDK will bind to the native label for each platform for iOS and Android, giving the look and feel that's expected for users of the device. In this case, we're going to add the label to the window and then present it to the user. Very simple application, but illustrating the power of Titanium for building cross-platform mobile applications gain full access to that native look and feel. The Titanium SDK runtime binds to the code and components that Titanium JavaScript developers build, and then gives access to the full features of the device. allowing them to create native mobile applications from a unified code base. And as Appcelerator adds additional platforms to the Titanium SDK, developers get multiplying effects on the economics of delivery by creating a unified code base, but getting additional features and additional platforms that they can target to. For instance, our BlackBerry 10 platform. Of course, mobile applications pull data and content from a wide variety of sources. With Appcelerator Cloud Services, Titanium developers can gain access to data, push server notification messaging, as well as computing power through our Appcelerator Cloud Service interactions. Titanium developers can access this with just a few lines of JavaScript code, and native language applications can also leverage our native SDKs to gain further access to our Appcelerator Cloud components. The Appcelerator Cloud Services are identified and published in common mobile use cases. For instance, authentication, photos, geolocated places, as well as custom objects and name key value pairs. Appcelerator Cloud Service can be delivered in multiple options. Today, of course, it's available as a freemium co-tenanted instance, so the developers can quickly integrate with it for prototyping, delivery, for consumer applications. Of course, for enterprise, we also offer virtual private installations as well as on-premise installations. Appcelerator Analytics gave further value to the core platform by allowing developers to create their mobile applications that are pre-instrumented with analytics in the platform. Of course, developers can leverage any other analytics components that they may want, for instance, Flurry or Omniture through a module library. But Appcelerator Analytics can pre-instrument, allowing developers to track users, sessions, devices, without having to do any additional engineering to manage that. And then, of course, post-delivery, as mobile stakeholders take a look at the analytics, they can then make adjustments and iterate and improve on the next application lifecycle for their mobile product. The Appcelerator Marketplace is a way for discovery and publishing of modules and components that integrate into the Titanium platform. This allows us to further increase the development of engineering efforts on our platform, allowing developers to grab controlled components that are commonly used and add them to their application brick and mortar style, creating interesting mashups and integrations with large organizations such as SAP OData Protocol or rich charts and graphs interactions for our charts module. Titanium app modules can be developed by any developer. Titanium modules sit shoulder to shoulder with our Titanium SDK, allowing organizations and individuals to leverage their legacy Objective-C or native Java code to create either a rich component control or an end API that further enhances the development experience, allowing developers to quickly gain access to services and data in other components and other organizations. We'll start off and give a quick workflow of the Titanium Studio. So I'll start by creating my native mobile application in Titanium Studio. Of course, here's my dashboard that allows me to view, of course, the the mobile marketplace. We'll start by creating a new application, Titanium Mobile Project. We'll call this application a demo app. I'm not going to leverage one of my pre-built templates that I have. I'll create one from scratch here, and we'll call it a mobile app. com.appcelerator.mobile app. And of course, we're keeping with reverse URI encoding for app stores. And I'll go ahead and we'll keep all the deploy targets, and I'll keep the optional Appcelerator Cloud Services enabled, and we'll click Finish. Titanium Studio is going to go ahead and create my native project, and it's going to, of course, build the underlying components and controls for the native iOS and Android platform. In this case, I'm not going to add any additional modules, but I could, of course, add them from my local cache that I've already added to my platform. For instance, I could do charts or Flurry integration. So we'll go ahead and build it right out of the box. Run on the iPhone simulator. And while that builds, we'll open up our app.js, the starting point for the mobile application. Here you can see in this application we'll create a native window, a native tab. We'll create a label, add that label to the window, and we'll do it again here for our second tab control, and then we'll present it to the user. So it's a very simple application. It's the template that comes right out of the box. Of course, if I had a device connected to my host machine, I could distribute it to the iOS device with an ad hoc distribution, or my Android device And when I'm done, of course, single-click publishing for Enterprise App Store or bundle it for distribution to consumer iTunes or Android. All right, there we go. Window 1, Window 2, a very simple application. So let's go ahead and start out and build another quick application with 3 tabs. We'll modify the existing source code to do this. We'll create a splash page. We'll do a Twitter page to pull RESTful HTTP endpoint requests into the application. And we'll also create a maps view. Here I'm going to wrap that splash name in a native window, a native tab, and I'll add that tab to the tab group. And here I'll do the same thing for Twitter. And of course, create my maps window and tab group. I'll go ahead and click publish this so I can see it running in the simulator. I'll neaten up my windows there a little bit. There we go. Splash screen, Twitter screen, and then of course my maps screen as well, all empty. Let's go ahead and add some controls and some content into this. So I'll refresh this. And we'll start with the map screen, and I'm just going to copy paste a maps view in that leverages the native map view control, of course with a pin on the map. We'll also drop in our splash screen control, and I'll slow down and take a quick look at this. So in this case, I'm creating a native view, a native image view, adding it to my view, which of course then adds it to the window and presents it to the user. In this case, I'm pulling the image actually off the HTTP web URL. However, since I have a native application and I have full access to the native SDK, I could load it from local storage so that my end user had instant access to the image without having to go over the network request to pull it across. All right, let's go ahead and we'll drop in our Twitter view here. And then we'll walk a little bit of this code, and we'll go ahead and bundle and run it from the iPhone simulator. So here I'm doing a straight HTTP request out to the web, to the Twitter endpoint service that's going to return JSON content. And since I'm a Titanium application platform application and I leverage JavaScript as my core language, when the response comes back, I can simply eval or parse, and then I'll be able to do direct object indexing into the text component, the user's screen name, and of course the profile image. Let's go ahead and take a look and see the application in action. There's my image view that came across the wire. Go ahead and click and view my native maps control with full pinch zoom. And then the Twitter request that went over the wire. Here I'm creating a composite table view row with a label at the header, a label for a body message, and then of course my image view on the left. Of course, this is full native controls and components since we bind to the native SDK that gives that performance, look and feel that users expect from their device of choice. So this is a very simple application just to show the workflow a developer might go through to create a native mobile application. I'm sure applications that are created within your organization are going to be richer, more complex, and give even more value to the end mobile user. I hope this helps give some insights into our platform, and if you have any questions, we look forward to helping you and improving our application platform and delivering on your mobile success. Thank you very much, and goodbye.